How many of you have ever done something for charity? I assume plenty of you have donated money. I mean, I have, and I have to guess that many of you have donated much more than I, which would not be saying a whole lot, I admit, But yeah, we have to give charities the benefit of the doubt that giving money to them, does benefit somebody, whoever the intended recipient of their charity is, right? But how many of you have done something else? I mean, have you volunteered there and like not been paid? Because if you're working there and getting paid, then you're just the one benefiting from donated money, donated from whoever, millions of people, perhaps ideally, and if a charity's doing well, but ultimately, shouldn't those donations do something to improve somebody else? Isn't there a cause? Some people have certain disease or disability, or there's charities that benefit veterans of wars, or any of a number of things, right? So how many of you have done something for charity or in the name of charity? Have you ever attended one of these walks? I mean, I know these are common, I mean, AIDS walks, or walks, I don't know, there might be some kind of walk to end cancer or something like that. Isn't there even a Seinfeld episode where Kramer, I think he's up all night the night before, and the whole thing ends up being a train wreck. I don't know if he gets beaten up or something. He's walking for, AIDS or for something. I don't know what, right? Well, did Kramer's walk benefit that charity? Yeah, it's a fictional character. Obviously, that, the actor got paid a lot, but that's not really what I'm getting at. Did you, if you attended a walk, I made it, 20 miles, he walked all around the city or whatever, how did that benefit anybody? Did that benefit you? Did you need the exercise, or did that benefit somebody else? Did somebody donate? Well, then that might have helped them. Somebody donating. I know all kinds of people run these marathons. There's even marathons where, they have a quota of how many people can run. Because of the size of the streets and what the police and fire department there say. And some of these are 20,000 or 50,000 people. Obviously, New York and Boston marathons are like that. These huge fields. Just like kind of taking over cities, and so they have to limit the participants. But oftentimes, a certain amount of participants for the regular $100, $150 maybe for one of these very famous ones it costs to join the marathon. But for more than that, you can do a charity entry. Now, you didn't really run for the charity though, right? Because if you sign up and pay, $250, maybe it's, double what someone that could have entered 6 months early or had a certain qualifying time or, normal entrance pays, so the fact that you pay double that means, presumably, half of that's going to pay for the porta potties, the off-duty cops, the medals they give out and the water they hand out, a gigantic insurance policy, obviously, that the city or any school that you're going through, whatever, is going to want to see. Sure, you're paying for all that stuff, obviously, right? The timing mechanism, the timing company charges something, right? But the other half presumably goes to a charity. Well, then that benefited them, didn't it? Your donation of money benefited them. But your running of the marathon didn't. I mean, you could have still signed up, maybe, the regular quota for 100 and, whatever dollars, the thing costs is already full. So you pay, your 250 as a charity entry. But if you didn't run, the charity in question would still get just as much, wouldn't it? I mean, how is your running or even your walking around the AIDS walk benefiting anybody? Perhaps you, but, so you might say, oh, when I did the walk for muscular dystrophy or whatever, I had everyone I know pledge to donate $20. Well, then that benefits someone. They did something for charity. You walking around for a whole, Sunday or whatever they do it, Saturday or whatever they do it on, that benefited nobody with the possible exception of you, right? You even see these kind of fairly famous people, or maybe like want to be famous, but not quite there yet. They're going to the North Pole, the South Pole, they're going up Mount Everest or something, right? And there's some, often there's some novelty gimmick, they're doing it on a pogo stick or I don't know what, right? Oh, they're doing it for charity. Oh, this is for charity, they have these big giant banners. Well, those charities are paying the explorer, aren't they, or the adventurer? How's a charity benefiting? By publicity? Well, if they're paying the guy, he's not doing it for charity. He's doing it for money in his own pocket. Unless that guy donated, to whatever great cause. You see Greenpeace banners on these, ships, roaming around. They're going to whatever ocean, or they're going to, the plastic patch, or they're, it could be any charity. But they're a ubiquitous one in sort of, outdoor adventure world. How did they benefit from that? Well, maybe I see the publicity and I donate, or plenty of you are probably more likely than me to donate. I'm assuming that's the kind of crowd that might be listening to me. You consider throwing a couple bucks their way. Well, then you did something for charity. But the guy that tried to go from, the South Pole to Everest all in one day, on a bicycle or whatever, doing it for charity. Well, how did the charity actually benefit from that? Right? There was this, marathon runner I really admired, that was active, I don't know what, a decade ago or something, and he suggested getting like a famous bike rider, and Lance Armstrong actually hadn't been disgraced at that time, that the story takes place, and maybe trying to get some swimmer. I guess a guy like Lockyer Phelps is good at short distances, but whoever's great at ocean swimming or whatever, and he proposed doing the the Ironman triathlon, the big one, the one in Hawaii, the ones on TV, whatever. And he proposed they go to that, each of them do their individual leg and see how fast they can do it. Now, of course, they're going to do it faster than someone doing it all three legs by themselves. One guy doing all three legs certainly can't keep up with, one of the top 20 runners in the world, one of the top 10 cyclists in the world, and then presumably some equivalent for swimming or something, but then he throws out, well, let's do it for charity. Let's do it for charity. Well, because this guy had a charity that I admire. Benefits people in third world, places, somehow, but let's do it for charity. Well, wait a minute. How would you showing up in Hawaii and getting all this publicity for, doing a triathlon, when it's not a triathlon, it's three individual events, much faster than an actual triathlon? How does that benefit any charity? What are you guys trying to put money in your own pocket with sponsorship? These kind of guys are sponsored by shoe companies or whatever. You see pro athletes, skiers, especially have logos all over their, uniforms and stuff, plug in various products. WNBA is kind of ahead of the NBA on that, and you have this unapologetic advertising on the jersey, right? And great though that is, that puts money in the athlete's pocket, how does this guy showing up in Hawaii and getting all kinds of fanfare and publicity? And it didn't happen, of course, because they're running a triathlon, but it was an idea he had, like, well, how fast could, three of us do it, compared to how, if we let them get ahead, the pro triathletes get a head start by a couple hours, could we run them down? Just kind of as a publicity stunt, right? But, we'll do it for charity, we'll do it for our charities. Well, how does charity benefit? Donating money to them benefits them more than anything does, donating your time and effort and doing stuff for them that ultimately is for the recipient of the charity, someone with a certain disability or someone in a third world country doesn't have access to clean water, right? That's all great that you're, getting them a good water source or whatever, but you running or walking around the town, that benefited nobody. So if you talk someone into donating, that guy benefited them. The guy you talked into donating, 10 of your friends threw $100 their way. That's $1,000. Oh, so they got $1,000 more. Not because you walked or, swam or something, but because your friends donated. That benefited them. So I think a lot of you should kind of get off your high horse. I did it for charity. Especially the people that are big time enough to be on the cover of a magazine. Let's my next big feat will be for charity. Oh yeah, will it? Yeah, it'll be to make money for yourself is what it's for, and you get suckers like us maybe to donate to a certain charity. We should go around bragging about how we're donating to charity. We benefited some charity. So just beware of that. Call people out that give you that. Some clown that comes into your office, panhandling for whatever nonsensical events happening next weekend or whatever. Point out that if you donate, you're benefiting charity. They don't at all. This is the way of life. Thanks for listening.